Channel 1, Channel 2, 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 Channel 1, Channel 2,
City News, police arrested a man accused of groping a woman in Love Library.
And voter registration in Lincoln is at an all-time high.
And find out if you can take pictures in your polling booth.
All that and more coming up right now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight on Star City News. I'm Bailey Hurley.
And I'm Dwayne Taylor. Pete Ricketts held a press conference this morning in response to the dozens of opponents of the Dakota Access Pipeline who showed up to his office yesterday petitioning Nebraska's decision to send 11 Nebraska state troopers to help.
The question has to do with the fact that under the National Emergency Management Compact, North Dakota requested resources from other states to help them out with regard to the protests going on in the pipeline. And Nebraska was one of the states that helped contributed state patrol members up there. Other states contributed as well. And in fact, Nebraska has benefited from this in the past. For example, when we've had wildfires, we've requested other states send us resources. So it's a way that the states can share resources and again, ultimately be able to manage those in the best way possible.
And one woman got an unexpected visitor on her early morning visit to UNL's Love Library. Star City's Kennedy Stillwater is live and has more on our story.
Last Monday, a girl reported to the Lincoln Police Department a case of sexual assault by a homeless man. Now, the homeless man was welcome into the library because Love Library is public, but his behavior was not welcome.
I've always felt pretty safe.
For most people, the library has been a safe place to study for exams or do homework, but after October 26th, the library isn't a place to let your guard down anymore. 34-year-old Lawrence D. Dollison forced himself onto a UNL student at Love Library around 7:30 in the morning.
And this was actually in a very public area inside the first floor. So it's very open, very public space.
The student who was groped by Dollison reported to UNLPD that she was sitting in the northeast corner of the library when he approached her from behind. Shirtless, Dollison first placed his hand on her shoulder and then grabbed her groin area. He then said he was sorry and forgot they were in the library.
Regardless of their affiliation with UNL or without it, is expect to behave appropriately.
I talked to women who are students at the university to see if they felt any differently about the library or even campus in general.
Because it's a public library, homeless people are allowed in, so maybe at certain times when it's less crowded, I would be more on my guard.
Shay Taylor is a senior as well. If she studies at the library, it's normally between 8 to 11 at night.
With the security guard pretty close, I've never really had issues with that.
After hearing about the student who was sexually assaulted, she felt a little different.
It's crazy now in the world, and you never know, they could look like a normal person and just kind of surprise you and come at you without even realizing it.
Logan Hyman is a freshman and told me she loves UNL, but is a little taken back.
The campus is so big, it's crazy, and I think that it isn't very safe if that's happening.
All the women I talked to felt the same. They always have their guard up and feel they need to protect themselves at all time. But the library was somewhere they didn't have to.
It makes me realize that that type of stuff can happen anywhere, even in a university where you feel safe.
Now, people like this man don't have any limits, so Lincoln Police Department wants to remind you that they're there for any reason. If you need help walking back to your car, they'll be there to escort you, or if a light bulb needs changed on the street light, they can get someone to replace that. They just want you to feel safe on campus and in Lincoln. Back to you, Bailey and Dwayne.
Thanks, Kennedy. Lincoln authorities have released the name of a man whose body was found inside of his home after a house fire. Police identify the man as 57-year-old David Spinner. The body was found after Spinner's home caught on fire last Thursday morning. The cause of the fire is still being investigated. In Omaha, police have identified the body pulled from a lake last Friday as 48-year-old Brad Gladwell of Omaha. His body was found in Lake Zorinsky after someone saw it floating and called 911. Gladwell had been arrested in September in connection with an underage sex sting. The hearing for his case was scheduled for November 21st, and Omaha authorities say that his death is not considered suspicious.
And the Nebraska State Patrol arrested a woman trying to smuggle meth into the state penitentiary yesterday. Investigators received information that 29-year-old Neosha Porter would be trying to bring drugs in during a visit to her boyfriend. A drug dog indicated the presence of drugs, and Porter asked for a female officer and removed the bag of meth in her vaginal area. A further search of the vehicle revealed a digital scale and marijuana grinder. Porter was arrested on suspicion of possession with the intent to deliver a controlled substance and smuggling a controlled substance to a confined person. She's been released on a $10,000 bond. And a man who was run over after falling out of his vehicle has died. Alan Jurgens of Plymouth, Nebraska had been arguing with his wife when he fell out of his vehicle and was run over by another in South Beatrice. Officers are investigating the incident, and an autopsy will be performed later this week. And the Nebraska Liquor Control Commission voted to require 4 liquor stores in White Clay to complete more thorough applications for the reissuance of their liquor licenses. The unanimous decision comes after criticism of law enforcement, most recently from a Sheridan County commissioner stating the county absolutely did not have adequate resources. Beer sales in White Clay have been linked to violence, alcoholism, and children born with fetal alcohol disorders in the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation.
StarTran unveiled its new bus schedule today. The updates will allow later service on almost every route and includes new ones connecting downtown to the Lincoln Airport. The revision also shortens wait times for riders downtown to only 5 minutes. Most buses have been pulled off of neighborhood streets and placed on major roads. For the month of November, rides are free as drivers remind community members of the changes. The new schedule will be finalized and enforced on December 3rd. And the Lincoln Airport passenger facility charge goes into effect today. The new fee applies $4.50 to any ticket for flights departing from Lincoln. Election Day is right around the corner, and the Lancaster County Election Commissioner's Office has already received some good news.
With more on this story.
Sitting outside the Lancaster County Election Commissioner's Office, it's been nothing but good news for these folks in the weeks leading up to the election. I'll tell you why coming up after the break.
Welcome to the Adele Coryell Hall Learning Commons. This new addition will soon become the scholastic hub of City Campus. Enjoy the vibrant learning environment designed to accommodate and promote academics. The Commons also has a number of private study rooms to gather and collaborate with classmates and friends. Welcome to the Adele Coryell Hall Learning Commons. This new addition will soon become the scholastic hub of City Campus. Enjoy the vibrant learning environment designed to accommodate and promote academics. The Commons also has a number of private study rooms to gather and collaborate with classmates and friends. Come visit the Adele Coryell Hall Learning Commons at Love Library today.
The College of Journalism and Mass Communications is the perfect place for higher learning. Students have the chance to study journalism, broadcast journalism, and ad PR. Our distinguished students have the best possible resources with equipment, professors, and internships. Coming soon is the first of its kind, interactive digital media hub. The future is bright at the CoJMC. Why not make yours too? Enroll today. Visit journalism.unl.edu.
In 2012, the national percentage of adults reporting that they drank too much alcohol before driving was 1.9%. In that same year, Nebraska adults reported 3.4%, nearly twice as much as the national average. People know they shouldn't drive, yet they still do. People go out and plan on coming back home. But as we all know, everything doesn't always go as planned. Inform those around you about the risks of drunk driving.
Election Day is right around the corner, and the Lancaster County Election Commissioner's Office has already received some pretty good news.
With more on the story, let's go live to Star City's Michael Dixon in the newsroom. Michael?
Thanks, Bailey. It seems like in presidential election years, the narrative is one of voter apathy. But this year in Lancaster County, that's anything but the case. These next few weeks will be the busiest period in a 4-year cycle for the Lancaster County Election Commissioner's Office. But the hard work is paying off. The office has also seen an all-time high in voter registration across Lancaster County, with online registering the primary reason why.
It's a very simple process, very easy process, and I think it's allowed people to, one, register to vote for the first time if they've never been registered, but also allowed people to update their voter registration to make sure they're registered at the correct address.
Prior to the October 21st deadline, online registering took voters just a few minutes, and even in a polarizing election year, officials still expect a natural increase in voter registration leading up to a presidential election.
I don't know that it's any different than other presidential years. We always see an uptick in our number of registered voters prior to a presidential election. It's natural happening.
Still, higher registration numbers can only mean good things for voter turnout in this election, and it's something election officials really appreciate seeing in the weeks leading up to Election Day on November 4th. Now, if you are unregistered and you've missed the October 21st deadline, you can still get registered at the office. That is at 601 North 46th Street. They'd be happy to help you out and get you squared away for the general election on November 4th. For Star City News, I'm Michael Dixon.
Thanks, Michael. And in case wearing an I voted sticker isn't enough for you on Election Day, good news. A new bill passed this year now makes it perfectly legal for voters to take a selfie in the ballot box. Nebraska is now one of 22 states that allows voters to strike a pose in the voting booth. And former Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders will come to Nebraska sometime between now and Election Day to rally support for the party's nominee, Hillary Clinton. Nebraska is among 12 states he'll visit as part of a coast-to-coast campaign swing that begins today. The times and locations of his Nebraska visit have yet to be announced. And millennials are jumping off Clinton's bandwagon after the FBI announcement last Friday about the new emails found in the private server investigation. As the presidential election heads into its final stretch, Clinton's support among voters 18 to 34 dropped 6 points from 68% to 62%, while Trump's support edged up 1 point, which now puts the polls at Clinton with 45% and Trump at 46%. Which is the first time he's led since May.
An empty school bus crossed into oncoming traffic and slammed into a commuter bus in Baltimore this morning, killing at least 6 people. The school bus had no children on board at the time of the crash, but did injure at least 10 people on the commuter bus. The school bus first hit a car, then went off the road into a cemetery and struck a pillar before returning to the road and colliding with the commuter bus. Investigators are working to pinpoint what caused the crash. And fire departments from across the Birmingham, Alabama area responded to a gas line explosion that killed 1 person and severely injured several others yesterday afternoon. The disruption occurred when a track hose struck the pipeline, ignited gasoline, and caused an explosion, creating 2 wildfires that burned 31 acres of land. The cause of the leak has not been determined, and the effects of the latest disruption weren't immediately clear. Coming up next on Star City News, we go from under the sun to under the umbrella, that is.
It's going to rain. Cody is going to tell us how much is coming our way next with weather.
Look for a way to give back to the community. The Nebraska's Humane Society Pelock Pet Adoption Center is located off of 70th Street and Highway 2. The Capitol Humane Society is always looking for cat, dog, and critter lovers to help comfort and play with the animals as they find their forever homes. Stop in or go to www.capitolhumanesociety.org to learn how you can give back to the community today.
Good evening, Lincoln, with your Star City weather forecast. I'm Cody Carlin. Well, you might have needed a light jacket this morning. It was a little bit chilly, but you probably ditched that pretty quickly this afternoon as temperatures rose into the 70s, and they're still there right now. Currently in the capital city, it is 75 degrees under partly sunny skies, just a light northeast wind, 15 miles an hour. Still above average for this time of year. Almanac shows that we were 14 degrees above average. Our high was 75, but check that out. 80 degrees was our record, so only 5 degrees shy of that 1990 record. And it's also becoming pretty warm at night as well. We are seeing temperatures we should be seeing temperatures this time of year approaching the freezing mark, but we're not seeing that, and especially not tonight either. It's going to be another warm evening into the 50s for this evening. Some clouds will be increasing, and then for tomorrow, we do have the chance for some showers and storms, mostly in the morning, but it will be a bit cooler as well. 64 for the high, northeast winds at 10 miles an hour. Out on the eastern part of the United States, big story again, once again, is the World Series. First pitch tonight is 7 p.m. for Game 6, and it's going to probably be one of the nicest evenings that we've seen for the World Series. It's going to be a great night in Cleveland, 69 degrees for the first pitch, actually, and winds will be nice and light at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Our 7-day now, check that out, about the best forecast you can get for the first week in November. Temperatures anywhere from 70s to the mid-60s by later in the week. Really only seeing some showers and storm chances come Sunday and Monday, but honestly, not too much to talk about in the way of changing for the 7-day forecast, except for on Saturday when we have our time change. It is now time to fall back, so we will gain an extra hour of sleep come Saturday evening.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, definitely make sure to turn your clocks back 1 hour before you go to bed on Saturday.
I'm excited now. Oh, man. Oh, what could be better?
Thank you. I'll wake up on time.
And coming up next on Star City News, hear what Mike Riley has to say about the Huskers' first loss of this season.
And find out who eyes are on tonight in the World Series. Brett has all that and more with sports.
One wrong choice can make you feel like the walls are closing in. Sometimes, you don't know where to turn. Student Legal Services is here for you when those situations strike. SLS attorneys offer free legal advice and representation to registered UNL students. Don't let one wrong decision ruin your future plans. Contact Student Legal Services at 402-472-3350 or visit our office at the UNL Student Union.
Look for a way to give back to the community. The Nebraska's Humane Society Pelock Pet Adoption Center is located off of 70th Street and Highway 2. The Capital Humane Society is always looking for cat, dog, and critter lovers to help comfort and play with the animals as they find their forever homes. Stop in or go to www.capitalhumanesociety.org to learn how you can give back to the community today.
A lot of sports going on last night and tonight, so let's just jump into it. We get the highlights started with Monday Night Football, which featured an NFC North battle between the 5-1 Vikings and the 1-6 Bears. And just when you think you know the NFL, you don't. You know nothing. No one does. In the first, the Bears get things going. It's the rookie Jordan Howard bursts through the middle. He goes 69 yards. That's more than the Vikings have given up to one player in an entire game, much less one play this season. Howard finishes with 202 yards, and that one set up this field goal. It's 3-0 Bears early. Later, Bears up 6. This time, Howard's just going to take it himself off the pitch. 13-zip Bears. And the best Halloween costume of the night, that belongs to Jay Cutler. Cutler was dressed up as a Pro Bowl quarterback. He hits Alshon Jeffrey for a touchdown. Cutler finishes with 252 yards. Bears upset the Vikings 20-10. In Husker news, Mike Riley took the podium for his weekly press conference yesterday. The second-year head coach gave his thoughts on Saturday's loss to Wisconsin.
Ways, both obviously as a run-pass option guy, as a runner, as a passer. I mean, he's...
Riley also talked about next week's opponent, 6th-ranked Ohio State, specifically how Nebraska's planned on slowing down the Buckeyes' star quarterback, J.T. Barrett.
He's one of those guys that, yes, you may need a spy on, in passing situations, because the threat of what he does running the ball in those situations, even on non-called runs by the quarterback, they can be so disruptive.
And you can throw the coaches poll out the window. You can throw the AP poll out the window. Now the only rankings that matter are those from the College Football Playoff Committee. The CFP Selection Committee will be releasing its top 25 teams for the first time tonight. And much to producer Michael Snow's delight, there's a baseball game this evening. Game 6 of the World Series is tonight in Cleveland, and the Indians will have another opportunity to put away the Cubs. Cleveland leads the series 3-2. But the Cubs have all the momentum. They won Game 5 Sunday and have their ace, Jake Arrieta, on the mound tonight. However, towing the rubber for Cleveland will be Josh Tomlin, who's no slouch himself. He threw 4 2/3 shutout innings in the Indians' Game 3 victory. And one more bit of college football news before we go. It's my favorite time of the year. We've got midweek Maction tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's back. Bowling Green plays at Northern Illinois. But the headliner is P.J. Fleck and the Western Michigan Broncos. They travel to Muncie, Indiana to take on Ball State. And I know I'm supposed to be unbiased up here, but row the boat, baby. Take WMU to stay undefeated. Well, that's all I have for sports news. Up next, Carly will have a full breakdown of what celebrities were doing with their Halloween costumes. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Adele Coryell Hall Learning Commons. This new addition will soon become the scholastic hub of City Campus. Enjoy the vibrant learning environment designed to accommodate and promote academics. The Commons also has a number of private study rooms to gather and collaborate with classmates and friends. Come visit the Adele Coryell Hall Learning Commons at Love Library today.
I'm Carly Jensen with your latest in entertainment. Well, the talk of the day is those outrageous Halloween costumes from last night. Let's just say all the celebrities brought their A game. Some costumes were pretty creative while others got political. Katy Perry, an avid supporter of Hillary Clinton, dressed up as none other than Hillary Clinton. Her boo Orlando Bloom transformed himself into Bill. Sierra and Russell Wilson also had fun with politics as Hillary and Obama. Justin Timberlake and wife Jessica Biel were the cutest trolls I've ever seen with little son Silas. And the Carter fam impressed as always with 2 costumes this year. Over the weekend, the fam paid tribute to Salt and Peppa, and then on Halloween, B, Jay-Z, and Little Blue all dressed up as Barbies. Another little girl stealing the show already is Miss Luna Legend. The daughter to Chrissy Teigen and John Legend was dressed up in a hot dog suit. But the one that everyone's talking about is Heidi Klum. The model always throws a crazy Halloween bash and kept people guessing about her costume. She surprised everyone when she arrived to the party as herself. Klum and 5 Victoria's Secret clones partied the night away. And speaking of Victoria's Secret, the lingerie brand just announced their performer for this year's runway show. The Mama Monster is going to Paris. Lady Gaga will headline the show on December 5th and just 2 months later perform at the Super Bowl halftime show. Gaga stepped away from her music for a couple years, but she is back and better than ever. This year has also been monumental for global sensation Adele. She revealed to Vanity Fair magazine, though, that behind the glamour, she has been struggling with postpartum depression. The mom to son Angelo Four opened up about how she felt inadequate as a parent. Since her son was born, she's quit smoking and drinking, and in the interview said, "Now, I don't care if I ever do anything for myself again." Her dedication to her son is also the reason she is taking a 10-year break from touring. But don't worry, fans, that doesn't mean no more music. And another young star who may be retiring early is UFC superstar Ronda Rousey. The Queen of the Ring hinted on the Ellen Show it may be time to call it quits.
Not that long. I'm wrapping it up. This is definitely one of my last fights. So.
One of your last fights?
Yeah, everyone better watch.
Yeah.
The show is going to be around forever.
Rousey is only 29, but she says the career really takes a toll on her body. Luckily, she still has her next fight in less than 2 months away, so you better buy that pay-per-view. That's all I have for entertainment, but coming up next, Monica has all the details on some iPhone updates you won't want to wait to get your hands on. All that and more after the break.
What would we do if we won the Powerball jackpot?
That's daunting to think about.
The music may change, but we'll still be there. Music, sports, and more. 90.3 KRNU.
The College of Journalism and Mass Communications is the perfect place for higher learning. Students have the chance to study journalism, broadcast journalism, and ad PR. Our distinguished students have the best possible resources with equipment, professors, and internships. Coming soon is the first of its kind, Interactive Digital Media Hub. The future is bright at the CoJMC. Why not make yours too? Enroll today. Visit journalism.unl.edu.
Welcome back, I'm Monica Lopez, bringing you the latest in the world of social media. Give this man the Father of the Year award. Being 30,000 feet in the air didn't stop this father from bringing Halloween to his 3-year-old daughter. The man who requested to be anonymous brought candy on board and got all the passengers in on the festivities. To his daughter's delight, she was able to walk down the aisle as she trick-or-treated on All Hallows Eve. His amazing efforts caused for an "aww" all over the web. And rejoice, everyone, rejoice! Apple just made it easier for you to be lazy. Instead of typing the words facepalm or shrugging, you can just now send an emoji. With the new iOS emoji update, you can now send more emojis to satisfy your texting needs. New professions, animals, and 6 different skin tones are just a few add-ons to the November update. Apple also updated the appearance of the emoji, making them rounder and more 3D. Now, I don't know about you, but I definitely know some people I could send that drooling emoji to. And that's all I have for social media today. Back to you, Bailey and Dwayne.
Now, even some sweet tooths are hard to control. Hunter Jobbins found that out the hard way when he left his car unlocked for 15 minutes, and upon his arrival, he noticed a crazy note and a missing Kit Kat bar.
The note stated, saw your Kit Kat in your cup holder. I love Kit Kat, so I checked your door and it was unlocked. Did not take anything other than the Kit Kat. I'm sorry and hungry.
Now that's one strong sweet tooth. Jobin shared his unfortunate story on his Twitter, but no worries, Kit Kat offered to send him a new bar.
I'm just excited that he got another Kit Kat.
Yeah, seriously.
But thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Bailey Hurley.
And I'm Dwayne Taylor.